They're back. Meeting with ladies always gets me all giddy and excited. I feel like a little girl inside.
So, this is what happened. There I was, minding my own business, got this call from a guy called Kush, and he made me an offer I could not resist. He literally told me that this show was going to be talking about co-parenting. Hello, I live for this. This is my thing because I think we need to be successful parents and how best to do it when you're separated. Unite forces and make it work. So that's why I'm here on this program.
Hi, my name is Edith. I am a lawyer, managing partner of JPLP. I'm excited because I was invited to feature on Pink Diaries.
So today we have a totally different cast from the one I'm used to.
I can't wait to meet the ladies and their dates. I'll just wait.
You know, divorce or after having
That's hectic. Okay.
a baby, kids,
She just went right
with
in there.
someone, how do you handle co-parenting and also the issue of blended families? I think this is a conversation that has always been, you know, every topic that we've been having.
Yeah.
I don't know, how is it? How is it like, does any one of you relate? And how do you relate to co-parenting, especially?
Why do you keep looking this way? It's like,
Because I'm
You're
I'm
like-
it's like about you, Miss Becky.
it's like a hint. No, but you know, like, your eyes are this way. So I'm like assisting you
I
here.
know there's someone passionate. There's a passionate, you know, somebody about this topic. Personally, in India, I'm in a blended family. So, yeah, there's some challenges, but we move.
Yes, we must.
Yeah.
I think the bigger challenge is with separating, you know, the reality of what is happening in relation to the children and what is happening inside of you. You know, that's where the problem always comes. And as females, I don't mean to sound sexist, but we're quite emotional about a lot of
100.
things.
We
Yes,
talked about this last time.
Yes, it is so true.
There's a lot of emotions that we put in everything. So when divorce happens, when separation happens, or even when you marry someone with their own kids who has, you know, an ex-wife or whatever else,
Or a
who's still
baby
the mother,
mama.
a baby mama, you know, and they're still part of the children's lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes we tend to struggle in separating the two to say, this is my struggle with the father of my child. It should not affect the welfare of the child themselves. This is my struggle with my husband or with the baby mama, but I don't have the right to actually take her out of the child's life.
Yeah.
So we need to be conscious of that when we're dealing with blended families and when we're dealing with separation and custody, guardianship, all those things. Always remove yourself from the picture and put the child first.
Yeah.
Wow. Spoken like a pro.
She is a pro.
Spoken like a pro.
What my takeaway from what I've seen from life when it comes to blended families and co-parenting is understand that it's about the children.
Yeah.
That the two of you, there is no love lost. There could even be no love, and it's all good. But you brought a human being into the world, and the both of you owe your children. So you'll find when I went through my divorce, I got to a point where I realized, okay, I might not feel for this man like I used to before, and he obviously has moved on. I have. But we have these amazing, wonderful, unique human
There you
beings
go.
who are looking at us. You know, my kids will never have another father. He's their father. They'll also never have another mother. I am their mother. So the bottom line is you want people to start looking at children as being our gifts from God. and understanding that the world is already a harsh place and they cannot be looking elsewhere for that mother or father figure. We are the ones that are there.
Yeah.
The mess, if it's even a mess, was ours.
You're right.
Not the kids.
Yeah.
So what I find there is people need to heal people.
Yeah,
You need
we
to
need to
heal.
heal.
People are too bitter. So as long as you're still bitter and believing maybe you're shortchanged or whatever, you know, that's what leads to women, especially when you find we're talking about baby mama drama, or maybe they say the woman is not giving me kids, things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Most times that's a hurting woman. That is a woman who's broken. That is a woman who feels she was shortchanged, she didn't get what she deserved, or at least
what
fair
she thought she
treatment.
deserved.
Yeah.
You
She
see,
deserved, yeah.
and I mean it's complex. We can't then probably like conclude and put everyone in one box. But
Yeah.
those are some of the things I think we should be cognizant of. And once you realize that things like that are there, heal. Work on
Yeah.
yourself as a woman. You know, it's okay to say I'm hurting. You don't have to be strong 24/7.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking on the healing part of it, I'm a baby mama too, but I'm now a wife. Thank God, right? So it's that journey coming out of a marriage, being single, and then eventually finding a life partner, per se, someone that you say, you were not there in my life, but now you were there, and I'm going to continue my life with you. So my focus was now on, okay, I was married, but now I'm not. The bitterness you spoke about. You know, there's an Instagram quote. I hate Instagram quotes because half the time they're not true, and then we just adopt them and then we want to run with them. The one that says hurt people hurt people. No. It's unhealed hurt people that hurt people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah,
But if
I
you are
like
a
that.
healed hurt person,
Everyone is hurt.
everyone is hurting. But it doesn't mean that if I'm healed, I'm going to hurt the next person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I have healed, I now know how to treat the next person.
You're actually a better person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my story then comes from, I was a bitter ex. I felt shortchanged, and then I would swear and curse that man to the last bonzo in
Right.
his body.
They needed to feel
They
it.
needed to feel it, right? Then I went through that phase, and then because I am a Christian, I never really strayed away from the prayer life and going to church. So along that journey, I met a woman who said to me, do you know that every time when you swear at and curse the father of your child, you are swearing and cursing his bloodline,
Yeah, wow.
which connects to your child?
Girl, that is a sermon all on its own.
I love that.
I promise you, my mindset changed. And I went before God. Well, not really before, like to go
Yeah, I hear what
to
you
the
mean.
ex and be like, I'm sorry that too,
Hey, wow.
No, I just went before God and I was like, God, I am so sorry that I've been this angry, and I missed that the whole point. I take back every negative word that I spoke about this man, and I started speaking life over my son, because every time I said, what a pansy. I'm speaking to the bloodline of my son, because our children have their father's blood.
Yes,
You can look for your blood in that child. It's not there.
Dololo.
Right? So that's when I changed. And then, you know, I grew up, I matured, got married, and then I experienced some baby mama drama, but I didn't go crazy instantly.
Do you
because
feel like you had some empathy towards her?
I
In
did.
as much as
I did.
you know she's dramatic.
I
but-
did.
And like I
I
get you.
did.
I've been there.
Right.
And it makes you a better person.
Because I
Yeah.
was thinking, at first I was like, man, she's psycho, right? And then it got to, hold up, wait a minute. This was you a few years ago. But then I wasn't that psycho, right? But then I put myself in her shoes and I was
Yeah.
like, if that would have happened to me, oh, wait a minute, that
Yeah,
did happen to me.
yeah.
But how did I handle it? What kind of a baby mama am I?
Yeah.
Right? And I did try to reach out. I'm not doing that again. Like, I love you from afar, and I will love your child and everything. And I did try to reach out and be like, I don't care what you and that dude went through,
Bad, yeah.
but because now he's my husband, keep his name out of your mouth. Because when
Yeah.
you are talking like that, you are now affecting me. Whatever you guys go through, it's okay. Tukanai ikoko. But don't let me hear you speak bad about my husband, because that's my husband now.
Wow.
So I had to like now stand in the gap. It's a bit tricky. I used to be very vocal. Davanda Ziza. And I got, no, calm down, baby girl. Be vocal in the closet on your knees. That's how I now then managed to keep the balance.
Wow.
But the bitterness that you spoke about, very real.
Wow.
Very real.
I actually learned something from Becky. You know, when the producer said, oh, so we're going to talk about blended families, and we're also going to talk about co-parenting and stuff, I actually had a moment of just thinking about me as a wife now, and the other woman being the one who's and then I forgot because so I was a baby mama.
You got it good now, huh?
I was like, no, but I was a baby mama because I was also a single mom. Yeah. And my experience, I'm just happy I didn't get too dramatic as well. So I think somehow God blessed me because now I can't even call my my husband's ex-wife a baby mama. It's his ex-wife. She's amazing. She's never been dramatic.
No, but listen,
she knows her
there's a
boundaries.
case of-
I know my boundaries.
There's a case of ex-wife, and then there's baby mama. Now, I have both. I have an ex-wife, and then I have a baby mama.
So do you think baby mamas are more dramatic?
Baby mamas are more dramatic.
Really? I'm
Baby
glad I don't
mamas
have
are more.
those.
Okay. In my case, in my case, with his ex-wife, we're like sisters.
Exactly.
I even emceed at her wedding. I was the MC where she remarried. We raised their daughter together as co-parents because I wasn't involved in their separation. I wasn't involved in their divorce. So that makes it a bit easier. But
I think you raise a great point.
Yeah.
I think something we need to touch on. So she said, if the person was instrumental in the divorce, because I think some things,
It's easier, yeah.
we have to realize, Kuti, if someone didn't play a role, it's very easy because neutral, you're just there, I'm there. Now when, say another woman was instrumental in the divorce, really, at the end of the day, it's quite hard.
it is very...
Especially when, I think maybe that's the thing we now have to talk about when it comes to co-parenting. How do we deal with allowing your children to go and call the woman who destroyed your marriage, destroyed in quotes?
Yes.
I believe that the man is the one who destroyed. He was in covenant with you, not the other part.
Oof.
You see. So it comes with growth.
Yeah.
It comes with growth to learn to say, no, pakakanyika, but you won't certain covenant. So I'm saying that part is what I think very difficult also. Whether it's also ex-wife or ever. How do you do that, guys?
Yeah, that's...
And vakarora nights west because arufana kuti mama.
They're in your children's space.
Ipapo. You know, because if we don't talk about this, we're not going to be real for what most women who are going to be looking at this conversation want.
That's true.
They want that realness. That
No,
guys,
but kids are
Jimmy
not forced
straight
to...
as say.
Are kids forced to say mama to the other woman?
No, they're not because it's
Yeah.
not the mother. But realistically speaking, on the ground, you know, this is a child who has gone to their father's house because
Right.
he has access. He has right to access to the child. And he gets there and the father says, you need to respect my wife.
Hey,
you
Mama
need to
Edith.
say, Mama.
Mama Edith.
Whatever
Hey.
the case may be. But I'm saying for
my
the
dear.
other person,
they won't.
it
In
then
most cases,
becomes when they're instrumental, like she's saying, it may be heart aching, even the thought that they are going to interact with that person. But those are the things that we're saying you need to heal, like you were rightfully saying.
No, you do.
You need to find your space of healing. And I think on that conversation, we also need to find a way to bridge the gap. Because whilst you're in the process of healing, while all this is happening, life is moving. You know, you're actually making decisions in the moment for your children. Some of them which may not be in their best interests per se, because you're going through stuff. So you get to decide, no, I don't want you to go to your father's house because that woman is there. I don't want you to do this. And then he says, I'm not going to pay for the school fees because you're not letting me see the
where
child.
the wars come.
So there's all this drama that's going on. And I think as society, we need to find a way to bridge a gap. It's unfortunate in our country, professionals are quite expensive to go for counseling and stuff because it helps you take a step back and deal with yourself whilst you're also doing what's best for the child. But we need to find a way, you know.
Oh my God, I feel so.
Say
I
it,
feel
girl.
like a feminist.
It's good to be a feminist. Ain't nothing wrong.
But I feel like men don't. If we had men who were in touch with feelings, and if our men understood what we go through as women, because I feel like iwewe murume do owns a situation. Diori pakati pangu inini need this other woman, especially in the case yekuti the woman he's with was instrumental in what and now you have to co-parent. You have to be the bigger person as a man. It's annoying how we come onto platforms like this and we're always talking about what we should do as women. But men, I know they are watching this show. They're the ones who are supposed to handle their business. You know, kuti, yeah, uyu ndiye akakonzera kuti ichi chiitike. How's about you handle that situation? Find ways. You can't now expect my child to go into that house and wakutoti itakuti mama. No, you need to understand that it's a process for everyone involved. Me, her, all the kids involved.
But most men just want to be polygamists.
Yeah,
That's what they want.
If you're going to
Deep down in their hearts, if they could.
Exactly. But even now, what I'm saying is, for all the men watching, if you want to be polygamous, and if you then actually have
Act upon it,
situations
yes.
that are polygamous, or even situations whereby you have 2 women, baby mama, ex-wife, and then what, or 3 or 4 or 5, you need to know as a man that these people have feelings.
Yeah.
You just don't wake up and expect someone to love, like that. It's not easy. You just can't expect me to be like, oh, everything is hunky-dory and everything is fine. You can't. It's wrong. And even the kids.
Remember, at the end of the day, in as much as you're very much correct, but at the end of the day, you can only control your actions as an individual. You cannot control what the second person is going to do. And as long as they're not breaking the law per se, even the courts can't really make decisions for them. So you need to be able to allow yourself to respond to whatever they're doing in a way that is positive for the children. Because half the time what ends up happening is this guy is being dramatic, but he's not doing anything illegal. In reaction to that, you then do something illegal, and now you are being punished by the law and by society in general, because there's a lot of stigma
for
around
the way you
these
react.
things. Yes. So to try and manage that, because you're consistently then feeling victimized. You know, this guy did this to me, and then he went to court, and how dare the court then decide this and what. But in your response to it, you actually did something wrong. So we need to be conscious, as hard as it is, to know that I can only control myself. I cannot control my husband. I cannot control any baby mama. I cannot even control the kids, because your children can love that woman in as much as you hate her. The very person who was instrumental to your divorce, your children can fall in love with her, and it makes you more bitter, you know. So you need to be aware of that and recognize it and accept it, that things went wrong. Yes, things go wrong all the time, but we need to be able to control our actions, and at the back of our mind, always put first those little beautiful beings that we brought into the world.
I think the one thing that we also, I'm going to sound very churchy, but I am spiritual and I love
just
it.
logged out a few seconds there. She logged out. She's like,
I ain't ready yet. You're ready. I need some more Jesus.
Yes, take us to church, Mercedes.
Okay, so I believe in this, that wisdom is the principal thing.
Right.
You must grow as an individual. There are certain things, it's foolishness. It's got nothing to do with whether we are men or we are women. It's just wisdom. Problem, and is sometimes we assume that, we're independent, we know life. Yes, we know life, but there are those who came before us, and they do have a say. I struggle when I find people who don't utilize the family unit. Because even if there's a divorce that's occurred, really, tinema parents, tinema aunts, tinema uncles. So I find that at times people don't utilize some of these channels, this is what's happening, and Even if you cannot, let's say, a baby daddy wacho asikubhadhara, kunoita drama kubasa kwake is not going to make him give you money, girl. You know what I'm saying? Have wisdom. Let's try different channels, okay? Vanhu ropa rava, they cannot deny it. Vanhu vatema ane mutupo wavo ropa rake. Even that guy, listen, mwana asvika pakadai involve yanhu akuru because kumwe munga pachedini enga tinopindurana zvakaipa.
That's true.
Mukaona kuti hamusikuwirirani.
Pride just comes in and does
ndosa vachinzi tinoroora handiti nekuenda kumhuri kuti even muri nakuita kuti haasi mwana wemuno yet esin kuti mumba but mwana wekuno ibloodline redu. So utilize such tunnels. Kana kuno vanhu vakuru regai nateti vadzifambire, because I don't know why you have to fight alone. In the case that hakuna, wisdom would then say, sit down nemunhu uyu makambodanana at some point and humble yourself. Guys, at times, you see, I like 33 strategies of war. I like 48 laws of power. You know, these are not the principles, because life is about strategy. Life is about knowing when to bow down and when to fight. Life is about knowing, okay, I'm not going to win this one, so let me chill for now. Play the fool to catch a fool. So if you cannot have wisdom to know in life, this is when I fight, this is when I chill. So to anyone who's listening, if you're a young lady, okay, and you're currently a baby mama, yes, you've shouted, it's not working.
Thank you. And it doesn't work.
Down, baby girl. Because my friends are not, it's not giving you the results that you want. Exactly. It's not wisdom. Wisdom is understanding. This is the man. So make sure you build a relationship, find a good time, because the problem is kazhinji, you want to talk when everyone's angry. Why are you waiting for maintaining things now? But you see. So find a good time where the two of you can just sit. Pasina kuti pane pressure. Haisha, you know what? This is what's happening in Nemana. Let's start off to about Nana. You know, you talk about the child. Okay, what do you think? No, thinking,
but you see
now you're having a conversation.
It has worked.
You have to put the child first.
I actually used that with my
I'm happy.
My sons.
I'm happy it worked for you.
Yeah. It helped me, and it helped me look at the situation.
Did it work instantly, or it took some time?
So what is it? You need to understand, what is it that you want to work? Because if you want, as a woman, I think I'm speaking for, and I'm hoping for all single mothers, what is it that you want to work? That's number one.
Yeah.
If for you, him being responsible is just giving you money for the child, I think it's difficult. You need to look at the bigger picture. You need to go, like what you're saying. For me, it made my life, I didn't expect anything from him. And I still don't expect anything from him.
Yeah.
What I expect is it maybe at some point that
give your child a call attack
for my son.
You know,
not for me. So what is it that you want to work? I want things to work for my son, not material things. So how I handled everything and how I still handle everything has made me a happier person. I don't have bitterness. Like when I think about him, Asha, if I want to bump into him, so it has helped me and shaped me as a person. Bitterness, I don't stress about the situation, and I feel to some extent it has made me a better person, even in my marriage, even with other situations that are similar. And I just know at the end of the day, those are the things that we're expecting to blossom, not maintenance. As a mother, when you know, you all do your part as a mother. Whether you've got the husband, you've got you don't, whether you've got the support or not, be a mother. God gave you that gift to be a mother for a reason. He knows you can handle it, and you will handle it well. No matter what. Kana tiri kugara mu one room, ku epwefi, tungatigari mu one room. And that happiness is what will build them. Don't do that drama and expect material things. If someone doesn't want that, you don't know what he in his life, demons. Actually, when I spoke to my baby dad, I actually realized he's got so much demons. Like
You dodged the bullet.
At this point, I don't even think God wants him to be part of.
Like, let's just
it's
leave
God's
it
plan.
like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But if you were to, like, say, turn back the hands of time or like rewind it, were you married to your?
No.
Okay. So if you guys say you were married, right, and then another woman came into the picture, with what you know now, would you still divorce, or you would say, let's do the barika thing?
Well, I don't.
With what you know now, with what you
with
know.
what I know now.
Now, yeah.
It would have never worked. It would have never worked. I would have never been sitting on this chair if I had been married. Let's even start with married to him.
Okay.
It would have just never worked. Like, he
And for
wasn't
you?
the one.
For me,
Yeah, if you were to like rewind and reverse everything, the way it played out, oh, there's another woman, okay, I'm leaving, okay, maybe not, Ngawi, Ndemaini.
no.
Would that have
I'm
been
sorry, I
the-
can't accept that. I can't. I think that's the reason why, in the first place, it was untenable. Because I think there are certain levels, I think, of respect that are due to a married woman. And the agreement that you have when you get into a contract with someone. You see, men have the expectation that you must be virtuous, you must be faithful.
Yes.
So there are two ways I look at it. It's either ndikagara imomo munozonzwa kuti ndiri kurura nokuura. My streets, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm human.
Yeah.
I can't do it. If I'm staying there to do 1 or 2 minutes. But in all honesty, I'm cool with it. I've learned, of course, until life you never say never.
Yeah.
But from where I'm sitting right now at this point in time, I don't think it's something that I would say, ngatite 2-3 pamuno.
Cool.
No. You
Okay.
know, in fact, there's this sentence yandakanzwa. Hanzi ndoda kuti kana ndichenda pabarika handidire kuiswa. Ndoda rangu rekuchuza. Inini kuti vanhu vakabva vandinodava.
That's what- and you
Ivava
actually
I'm willing
came to the
kuzvi-
point
ninipisa
that I'm trying to
pavanhu
bring up.
nokuti chi vanondida madirwa andinodi andinoda. Not
That's
kuti
why I'm
wakatanga
asking-
uchindivimbisa zvimwe.
That's why I'm asking what I'm
Uchindiforsa.
asking. If your
Yeah.
partners that you have now came to you and said, ndoita zvebarika, but you are my first wife, pachazouya, would you have been? Oh, that's
I'm actually thinking, two things came to mind as we
Yeah.
were talking. The first is about an environment. Remember, we were talking about co-parenting and
Yeah.
managing these things. The environment you create for your children. Because I think there's so many women who do that, you know. Things have gone wrong and you really feel I'm in a bitter space. But you stay for the children and everyone will say to you, no, Garavana, you know, they shouldn't stay in a broken home and whatnot. But they end up growing up in a toxic home.
Oh my word, that is
which
so
may
true.
not be the best for them and the best for you, because you are remaining in an environment that triggers you consistently,
Yeah.
and you are becoming a bad wife, a bad
Mother.
mom, a bad my guru if there's
A bad
no a bad
sister,
child.
being
a bad
general.
everything,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you are creating a chain of events that creates an extremely toxic environment that is not good for anyone in that setup, and that can cause worse. And talking of responsibility, I think there are a number of women who go through that, particularly when there's a divorce. Someone will get to a point of saying, you know what, it's fine. Let him just take everything. I'll start afresh.
I did that.
Yeah, but when you look at it and you're thinking, okay, you have cleared yourself of the drama, you know,
Yeah.
and consistently fighting with this person, but each person has to be responsible for their child. There are two extremes to it. There are those who will say, I am going to take care of my own child. I don't care about you. You do what you're doing. But he has to be responsible for his child because he
If that's
brought
going
the
to
child.
bring drama.
And and that's what I want to get into, that you don't always need to get into drama. You could simply go to your lawyer, for instance. This child has a father. I'm giving an example that you really don't want drama. You don't want to interact with this person.
So I'll keep quiet. I'll leave you alone.
But how is that going to affect the child?
You don't know.
Because remember, once you get naturally, you're consistently dealing with these cases, and after some time, you then have someone who comes back and says, "Oh, by the way, when we did that divorce, I said he can take everything, but now I'm really struggling with these kids, or the lifestyle they were used to, I can't afford it anymore. So now I need something from."
When you make a decision to say, I am leaving this marriage, I'm done. Let him take whatever. All I want is my child or my children. Come what may. If it means like what she said, no, one room, you will do that one room until you as the parent decide, I don't want this life for my children anymore, and I come out.
Also, there are toxic guys, though.
African men are. The moment you actually send a lawyer to him, I know a lot of people who are, I know a couple of ladies who are actually going through this, and infuriate. Send a lawyer. You don't have to deal with him. But I'm sure it's $50 your maintenance for one of 4.
In as much as that happens, and it's a personal choice to say, do I want to pursue this or do I not? But we cannot outrightly encourage that, when you separate with someone, let them just be free with their life and carry the entire burden on yourself. Because I think that's what has gotten our mothers' generations worn out. They carried the entire burden on their shoulders when someone else could have been assisting them with that. So we want these men to take charge. This is your child.
But who's going to tell them that they need to
We're telling them now because there are men who are listening to this. Take charge. It's your responsibility. And then there's the other extreme of the woman who will say, no, he should do everything. He has the money. He should do everything. It's the responsibility of both of you to cater for your child and find a way to balance it.
I want to say on what you're saying. How do I put this?
I need to chill with you more.
For most people who are the baby mamas, why there are a lot of bitter people is because it's not being done correctly. Do chokwadi man. Chokwadi about divorce. It's not everyone who is getting, I think what was there. Understand, women have laid their lives. At times they've stopped their careers. And for this man to support him, and then at the end of the day, after 20 years, what do they have to show? All men and women listening, we're going to look at our mothers' generations. How many people are bitter mothers? How many people are mai vakasiwana baba? Baba vakaenda kujobhegi vakasadzoka. Vakaenda nawo kuchikoro. How many women do we know they are just bitter women? We cannot be that generation anymore.
No, I refuse.
Yeah. So it is both men and women. Kana istakakura chona kuradzokana mai vedu. Kana not atakura tichishupika because baba vangu varipo. Let us be people with a conscience. Yeah. We ought to change the narrative. Yeah. We need to step up and have real conversations like the ones we're having now. Of actually saying that, dude, I've always said this to myself, that listen, from what I've experienced in life, if my son happens to impregnate someone but is not in love with it, I am that Amwen who's just going to straight up say, but I know it's going to be hell for your child. Not because I don't believe Mwanoni, but I've seen this story too often.
Don't get married. Yes.
Because you find mama marriage even, baby mama. But take and baby mama munozotiomera futi nenyaya yekuti chirespect out inini na baba atina kuita andinakodze neuchienda pamurume iyeye nemarriage yake kuda unomvonyongodza because ndo zvimwe zvikunyimisa vanhu mari ngatitsuranewo. Let's tell each other the truth, guys. If someone is married, move on. Please get a boyfriend, get a lover. Go out there, live
spending
your life.
All your time being bitter when you could be falling in love.
Kariswiri. Iwota zakufara. take it no, find yourself somebody, live your life, go back to school, find your
yes, put it
passions.
here.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
kana zvakare find dzimwe hondo dzatiri kurwisana nadzo nebitterness amai because amusingoholdwa mukaholdwa imi tinokushayai unodzaka kuita thank you. Amen. That is the word.
Oh, yes.
And speaking of women, us being perpetrators to some of these situations, I don't know, there's also some women, baby mamas and even ex-wives sometimes, who will then say, use the child as a pawn.
If you find yourself using a child
seen
to
so
get
many
stuff,
women say,
I'll leave it. Just leave it.
But asikundibatsira kuchengeta mwana saka
I'm gonna withhold.
asizomuona mwana iye.
For who? For who?
What is that?
It's actually illegal.
It's
you know?
very illegal,
Yeah.
auntie. What are some of the maybe legalities that are connected to that? Like what happens after that? Like okay, after divorce or muneva mwana may say, how is it? Who's supposed to see mwana when and who's supposed to chengeta mwana? Maybe if you can elaborate for us.
So
Because I don't think these women and these men know.
there are two things. There's the aspect of responsibility, which we were talking about, financial responsibility. And that's where you get your maintenance and what have you. And note, either party can actually
pay maintenance.
can pay maintenance, depending with the circumstances of the case. So it's not just the woman who's supposed to get maintenance, which is why I was highlighting that both parents have a responsibility in terms of the law to take care of their child. And then there's the aspect of custody and access and guardianship. These days, people are traveling abroad and now they need affidavits, they need court orders and whatnot. What happens is when you separate, it's not a given, first of all, that the mother is given custody of the children.
Okay.
The courts look at what is best for the children. So in most instances, it ends up being the mother because of the tender nature of children and the relationship the mother would have developed with the children, accessibility and availability. But whichever parent gets custody, the other parent has a right to access. So if you have done a proper divorce, those terms are stipulated and the court will not grant you a divorce order without you mentioning what your arrangements with regards to custody and access of minor children. So you then stipulate maybe once every weekend or whatever works for the two of you, but there has to be some sort of arrangement. But you'll find that with most people who are co-parenting, some were never married. So there's no divorce order. There's no stipulation that says you see the child once every whatever. But we have to be cognizant of that this guy, as ridiculous as he may be to you, he is entitled to see his child, because these are two separate relationships. Relationship with you, it has its own legalities involved, it has its own stipulations. Relationship with the child is separate, and this is his blood, his child. He can enforce his rights to access to that child. And worse, when you now want to migrate, you can't just run away with the child, and decide I'm the one who's staying with that. Yes, you have to get permission. If he's being unreasonable, you then go to court and try to validate why you think he's being unreasonable. And the court may still decide, no, you're the one who's being unreasonable, so you can't take this child away. So you can't use a child as a weapon. A child is a human being, and that's why the courts are very sensitive when it comes to children. Trying to know he can't see the child, he can't do this. Those are your issues, whether child cherakamtora pagedhi usingamuone kuti alright apikwa pagedhi adropwa pagedhi, let them have their relationship and you deal with your issues.
I think the key word here, when it comes to successful parenting, let's forget co-parenting. Parenting in general, whether mutori mese nemurume wacho or you're separate, just kukurera munhu, kukudza munhu, it's just a gift from God. It's such a blessing, and it's a taxing blessing at times, okay?
But it's an amazing blessing.
The issue, I think, that every individual, when you bring someone on this earth, you must understand that these are unique individuals, that we have to raise. So we have to understand our children. We have to understand how gifted and different they are. vamwe vanotaurisa timanyenyenye ndisu vanozoita maartist nevanotaura patv saka musatsangokanaka kwati nyenyenye zvine reason murega taure chimsi yakadaro pane kwanokwana deep thinkers maybe mastrategist vanodidi so everyone has a role. So I just think as a parent, when you see that brilliance of that child, imagine you're not my first steps. Allow me not to enjoy it with you. Plus life, guys, what happens the day that I wake up not there? You ruined the relationship for this child.
With
now
his father or her
you've
father.
already made mwana believe kuti baba vari bitter. Vari kuwana baba benzi atirambe. But at least baba asarangu. Rekuti ndiudze mwana wangu tive baba wako ibenziwe. No, when they grow up, but
my son actually discovered it when he was like 11. From because I divorced with his dad when he was like 4, turning 5, and from that time until he was about 11, turning 12, his dad was Superman. Superman.
He could do no wrong.
Do no wrong.
It was you.
Even when his dad wasn't doing anything, I would go into town, buy shoes.
I know.
I would buy shoes like 2 sizes bigger. Look, your dad sent. Then one day he says to me, "Stop, Mom. I know you didn't do that. I know Dad didn't do it. I know it was you." I tried.
Yeah.
But until about 11, he didn't know anything terrible about his dad. Only now, because he's 15 now. So he will ask.
Some things have to make
So some things are still in his memory. Mom, why did Dad take your car? Mom, that day when this happened, why did... And I'm like, whoa.
Where is this all coming
Where is this? Yeah.
Yeah, kids also, we need to understand that kids see.
Yes.
Yes.
From I'm sure even this was my memories of it. I recall a lot of things. And a lot of those things have shaped up who I am.
you've become exactly.
So we should always remember, Kuti, these kids will be watching us. And I always say it's us adults who just screw
We mess it up all the
These
time.
amazing human beings are just there to make our lives so much, nicer and flowery. And just coming home from work or coming home from wherever you're coming from, it's not like it's a kind of story for
Yeah.
just in a
Can I get controversial?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a pinda magarden, I'm a step on toes. But as a woman, I am a feminist, I am pro-women, but I believe in living harmoniously with men. I love men, okay? I want that masculine side to my feminine, okay? They need to do the dirty work while I just look all dainty and feminine.
Yes, I like
So, ladies, there's this thing that I've just been noticing lately. Vakadzi ngatidzidze kuti tisu tinobara mwana, tisu tinosara naye. Iyi nyaya yemunhu ada kuitira munhu nhumbu asingakude ngatiudzanewo chokwadi. Pane vanhu vatiri kutoziva yakuziva kuti munhu akude uyu wozoda kuita mwana wevanhu munhu akaipa, and you want to trap them using zababy. We must tell each other the truth. Ngazviniri
Drink iri kunaka.
iri kufaya.
And if men are complaining,
Yes, because also it is happening.
Kuti
handisi kuda.
Tiri my games, or I don't want that responsibility. I say,
Then you want to become bitter munazova nemunhu wake. Saka izvozvo nesuwo, let us be liberated enough and smart enough to know kuti patiri kutamba magames aya ndosaka hakunana protection, ndosaka hakunana abstinence kana waona zviri kukukunda, because you are making an emotional choice that is going to affect the rest of someone else's life.
Sammy, I think this needs a part 2.
It needs a part 2, producer. Unfortunately, our time is run out.
Samantha is my G like that. We were on the same page half the time because, I know they say no woman's story is the same, but we related so much on certain things, obviously because how things play out. It's the same story, just different cast, I think. Same script, different cast. But yeah, and I'm sure both her and I were looking at Edith like, it's okay, ma'am. We hear you.
You need to allow yourself to go through every experience in life. There is a time when we feel the pain. There is a time when we go through the aches. but there's also a time to pick yourself up from it and move on. You can't be stuck in that phase forever. So you need growth, and you need to be able to respect each person, especially someone you have given birth to a child with. They are consistently the father of your child, and you need to respect them for that.
My takeaway is we need more platforms like this. We need more platforms where we can talk about real stuff.
I've learned that I'm not perfect, and not everyone is perfect. And I need to embrace all the imperfections that life comes, with. And I also learned, I knew I had to learn something from Edith. I learned that sometimes you need to fight, Sometimes you need to fight for what is yours and what you deserve. It's just the way you fight.